Welcome back to another episode of Arenda Talks. I'm your host Arenda, and today I talk with Jonathan Ford about Riverdance. Riverdance is a theatrical show that consists mainly of traditional Irish music and dance. With a score composed by Bill Wieland, it originated as an interval performance act during the 1994 Eurovision Song Contest, featuring Irish dancing champion Jim Butler and Michael Flatley, and the vocal ensemble of Anuna. Welcome again, Jonathan. It's been a while, but thank you for joining me.
Yes, it's been a while. Nice to be joining you.
How are you doing?
I'm okay. Thank you. Yes. What about you? Okay.
I'm fine. Yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah.
You see
yeah,
SMB, so.
Oh well, that's good. Yes, that's good.
So today we're going to talk about Riverdance, the dance show, and I must tell you guys right away that Riverdance is one of my favorite dance shows, live dance shows in the world. It's always, of course, we know at first performed when it was the US Song Contest in 1994. They performed in the break. So is this also the first moment, Jonathan, that you have seen it?
Yes, that was it, and I think like everybody else who saw it, I was very impressed, and yes, and I thought, well, I must investigate more around this. Yes.
So, how did you experience when that was on the television for the first time?
Well, it was very good. I was watching the Eurovision Song Contest as I did as I have done for quite a few years, and yes, and I just thought that when they announced the interval show, I just thought, oh, it'd be interesting to see this, and then of course by the end of the whatever it was, 2 or 3 minutes dance, blown away and everything, at the choreography and everything, and yes, it was excellent, and I wanted to, I think then, after having seen it, I wanted to see if it was going to be any more of it happening anywhere, as many people did, I think.
Do you have any connection with Riverdance or with the Irish or Irish dancing?
No, actually, no. This was probably my first time of seeing Irish dancing, and no, I have no Irish roots as far as I'm aware, or anything like that. No.
What I really loved about the show is the music and the dance, and there are quite of troops that are traveling around the world and performing Riverdance, of course, and of course last year was the 25th anniversary of Riverdance.
Yes, yeah.
So what do you think about the music?
Yes, I did like the music, and of course there was a possibility that was going to be available. I had thought anyway, and I think shortly after the performance, it was actually the video was up on YouTube, as many of these things are. And so the story of me and it really was that I went to see the show, the original one in the Labatt's Apollo in London. Nearly as soon as it was announced, I think I was one of the very first people, I think, in the audience of that batch, and yes, it was very good, and I was quite surprised initially that it was obviously going to be not all Irish dancing, and it was a variety of dances, and yeah, it was a very impressive show, very different styles of music and dance. Was very good, and the music, as you say, was particularly good, and what I also liked was the sets, and if you watch a video or see something called Riverdance, a journey, which is about how it all started and whatever problems there were. All the original kind of images that you saw on the screen, the back, for instance, were actually hand painted at that time. I also went to see the 25th anniversary. I can't believe that it was 25 years ago. And I went to see the 25th anniversary show, and yes, I thought it was good. The stage that I went to see it on isn't particularly wide, though, and wasn't, I don't think, particularly suited to that kind of a show. And I also thought that some of the, it was a bit bigger and a bit of they tried some little twists that I don't think quite worked. But yes, so 25 years, goodness me, makes me sound very old now.
Yeah, it's a little bit 25 years ago. I must say, can you tell us a little bit of the first version of Riverdance you saw? Because I think a lot of younger people maybe might have seen a little bit older versions, although I have seen it at the start as well. I have been to 3 live shows, and I was planning with my partner to go to the 25th anniversary, but then COVID hits, so everything
Right,
being cancelled. Yes. Although I do have seen it, a program that was especially for the 25th anniversary.
Okay.
But can you tell the listeners what was your experience of seeing the first time of the Riverdance show, and how did you experience it?
Right. Well, I went to the I went to the Labatt's Apollo. As I say, I was there actually on my own. So, and from the moment that you kind of sit down and anticipate it all, it's I like all of that. When the first music hit, and you wonder what's going to happen, and it was really good. It started off not with the dance that was actually on the Eurovision. I don't think there was a couple of things before it, and then I think it was about the third performance of the evening that particular item was on, and of course the first appearance by Michael Flatley was a bit of a storm. He comes storming and leaping in, great, and it was a real mix of stuff, choir and tap dancers and Russian dancers and flamenco, all the host of different styles, and also a couple of solo instrumental pieces by various people. David Spillane and yes, so it was all great and all very well put together, very polished, and yeah, it was. And you came out of it short of when it finished. Everybody stood up, standing ovation, and everybody went out. As I imagine that I certainly went out with a feeling of that it was a really good show. It was the best. Well, I hadn't really been to anything like that before, and I probably never will again. It was kind of a one-off. That, and I think that yes. So for me, comparing it with the 25th anniversary of the show, it was nice to go to that and to be reminded of the original show. I think that's what it was for me. I mean, it was a good show in itself, but for me, it did. As I was at the first one, it did remind me of that, which obviously was the intention of it, taking you back to the old days, as it were. Yes, oh, it was all very good.
Yeah, the music make me always happy in a way, and
Yes.
there are moments in yeah during the day in my life. I only put the music on and just started to dance.
Well, that's good. I don't know whether I do a lot of dancing along to it, but what I like to do with these things occasionally is I will. Well, I actually had it on this morning a bit to remind me of it, but I like to sit at home in the fairly dark and sort of put it on and imagine that I'm sitting there at the concert all those years ago, and I think for something to be to remind you of that experience, it's great. Yes.
So you already talked a little bit about the documentary of Riverdance, and I also have this documentary and seen it a
Oh, right.
couple of times. So there was also a pretty big point when, and even before they started touring, that was because of Michael Flatley. And
Oh,
Michael
yes.
Flatley was
Yes.
leaving the show, and there was a new lead dancer, Collington, was coming there. And so, what can you tell me in that time when that happened? What was your initial feelings and thoughts about that?
Well, I yeah, I didn't have any experience of the new guy. Obviously, I saw Michael Flatley at the beginning. Yes, I mean, I think reading reading between the lines, looking at the documentary, as I have quite a few times actually. You do get the sense that he wanted to have more control, and perhaps he would have liked to, I don't know whether it was on the beginning, I can't remember, but he would have liked to have his name, or at least credited with some of the performances. I mean, he started off as the, or soon became the principal dancer, and then they discovered that he was a good choreographer as well, and so he did choreograph a lot of the pieces, and he wanted the recognition of that, perhaps more prominently than it has been. He did mention on the documentary that it wasn't uh, anything to do with money, but so I don't know about that. But then it sounded as if what had happened was both parties, both the Riverdance organization and Michael Flatley, had misread each other and thought they had agreed to something when they hadn't, and it was only very last minute that Michael decided that he couldn't stay. So it left them in a bit of a pickle. But as you say, they managed to find someone else at the late stage. How he was, he looked okay. I'd seen him only on a video or whatever. He looked okay. He looked a different kind of dancer to Michael Flatley. And to be honest, I think that I would. You can't really say this, I suppose, but I think that I would obviously have preferred, as I did, to start it off with the person who was actually in the Eurovision Song Contest piece, to start seeing Michael on stage. That was a big thing as well.
Yeah, because I only have seen it with Colin Dunn.
Oh,
and
right. And how was he?
He is good. I have seen him for a couple of times, and he is one of my favorite Irish dancers. But also, like, I don't know. I think, and I just want to say this to you guys too. The Irish dance that you see in Riverdance is even more than Irish dance, because traditional Irish dance is totally, I don't want to say totally different, but it is different in how you dance. And the performance as in Riverdance is more for, as in traditional Irish, it's more sexy, more it's more modern music, and I must say that I love the music. They really have done a good job, but also with the dance pieces and the whole theater aspect of it. So we know that Riverdance has a lot of troops traveling around the world. So we have an Asian tour, we have an American tour, we have a European tour, and there are some troops that are stated in, I believe, even in Dublin. So, but Riverdance have been quite long for a while, and also we know Michael Flatley was the first choreographer and dancer of Riverdance, but Michael also made his own story and show, and it's called, the first version is Lord of the Dance. Then you got Feet of Flames.
Right.
And,
okay. yes.
And he also made there a couple of versions of that. And then we have Celtic Tiger. Although
Right.
I
Okay.
didn't like that one, but okay. But yeah, Riverdance has always been one of my favorite, and you already said it. There are different dance style from the world in this show, and although it is some kind of a storyline, they're telling a
Yes.
story.
Yeah.
I do love those different parts of different
Yes.
styles.
Yes.
And one of my favorite pieces is like it calls trading taps. And then you see American tap dances against the Irish tap dancers.
Right. Yes. Yes.
And that is one of my favorite because I'm an American tap dancer, and even for American tap dancers, I'm very jazzy. Everywhere I come, my teachers always say, "You are too jazzy. How did you do that?" And the fun part is my partner Simon, he does Irish dance. So we are practicing the trading taps piece to
right, okay.
perform. And
Lovely. Good.
yeah. Yeah. And but there were other things like and you probably seen that. I only have seen her on DVD. The woman who danced the flamingo, Maria Pages.
Oh yes. Yes.
She is so good, and I really love that piece too. But
Yes. Yes.
like I said also before, it's 25 years now, and in that 25 years they changed a little bit of the music, but also the dance. And
yeah.
I must confess, I hoped I could go to the 25th anniversary because we were really looking forward to that. But
Yes. Right. Right.
a shame COVID hits.
Yes.
So
Yes.
in one way, we hope that they still are coming back to Birmingham or Manchester, that we can, or Stoke, that we can watch it
Yes,
live
well,
again.
I hope that you can go. I mean, I think that as long as the show goes on, or they can be, they always, I don't know, they always seem to want to tinker a bit with these shows and imagine that they can do something better than there was before. I don't know whether that's always the case, but maybe I'm old and like the riddles of things. I don't know. But yes, but I think as long as people want to go to these shows, that they will continue to tour. And there's been various other musicals that there have been various versions of in the past that I've been to, and I think the show, as people have said before, the show is the star. I think actually that's a quote from Bill Whelan from the documentary, that the show is the star, and so he was reflecting then on the loss of Michael Flatley, and he was kind of saying, well, that just goes to prove that he wasn't necessarily the star. The show was, yeah.
Yeah, I always think that he took some kind of, I don't want to say leadership, but I always think the performance of Michael Flatley is some kind of a little bit too macho.
Yeah, right, yes, I know what you mean. Yeah.
And for a traditional Irish and just storytelling show like Riverdance, it doesn't suit the show. And if you look like his shows like Lord of the Dance or Feet of Flames, it's very macho orientated.
Yeah. I see what you mean, yes. Right.
And
yeah.
It's
sorry. Yeah.
I think that would harm the show Riverdance, and in that way, maybe it's good that they departed because I do think Colin Dunn and the other lead dancers doing a good job with it. So
Excellent. Well, that's great. Yes, 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 yes. I do.
so what do you think about the costumes that the dancers are
Um,
wearing?
yes. Well, obviously, yes, they were all very good, and obviously, takes a lot of work by those who make.
That is all handmade, by the way, guys.
Yes, right. Yes, and oh yes, there are some lovely costumes there, and all that is done very well. All of the all the and when they all have to all most of them probably had to have some kind of, I think they call it a hard shoe, and so there was
Yeah.
good work for the shoemaker, or the shoe repairers, um, in the various towns which was happening. But yeah, but all of that was great. And of course, it's added to the performance. Um, yes, I love to see all the traditional um, European costumes. One of my other favorite dancers in the show was the Russian, the dervishes, and there's nice, lovely, yes, but it was all very well costumed, and you got the feeling that it was attention to detail with everything,
Yeah.
music and costumes and the lighting. Everything was quite polished, and it all adds to making the show the star. As I said, yes, yes.
Yeah, and after when Riverdance aired on the Euro contest in 1994, after that, Irish dance became very popular. And let me tell you guys, Irish dance looks easy, but hell, it isn't. Trust me.
Right, right.
It's
Yeah.
really difficult, and especially for somebody as me that is very jazzy in her whole body, like the American tap dancers. It's really hard to stay down your arms next to your body. I can tell you that. It really,
Yes.
really is so. But it is very different than American tap dances. But like I said, it is really hard. And let me tell you also a little bit of the background of this the show. There is every time those dancers do a show of about 1.5 hours, 2 hours, they burn about 3,000 calories a show. So they will never ever have to look at what they're eating or drinking because they will dance it off.
Yes.
And I always have said that. Do you really want to lose weight? Well, go tap dancing.
Yes, right, right. Yes, yes. So, do you have any Irish heritage or whatever yourself, Rita?
Yes, I have Irish heritage in me. The only thing is I haven't found it yet in papers because I haven't been to Ireland yet. It's still on my bucket list.
Right,
I love
okay,
Ireland.
Yeah. Yes.
And that was the fun part of it. I did 3 years ago. I did a DNA heritage test.
All right. Okay.
And I told Simon, well, if I only have 1% Irish in me, I'm going to scream, and you will hear me scream in England. At that time, I still lived in the Netherlands, so
Yes.
well, but I have about 23% of me Irish in me.
Right. Okay.
So, but that's
All
also, yeah, it's how I live, how I have the feeling of being Irish, and but also like on in a spiritual way. Yeah, it's pretty good and pretty much Irish, and
Yeah,
not all
good,
of
good.
it, but it's like a remembrance, you know. And when I hear Irish music, I become happy,
Right, yes, 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 yes.
and it's just really nice to know. And I think that is when Riverdance came on, it triggered me.
Yeah, right, yes. Yeah. Oh, well, that's good then. Yes, yes,
So
that's good.
your favorite part of the show is the Russian dance.
Well, yes. I mean, of the the river dance to main dance is one of the stars, of course. But yeah, um, the Russian dance again. I thought it was very athletic, um, very, and that was probably that was again well choreographed and quite colourful in the way that the ladies' dresses were done or skirts were done, and they made good use of all those colours. Yeah, so that's why I mean that's I have an Apple, I have an iPod and top 25 songs or whatever, and that's always on the list, you know. Not that I'm not that I'm listening to it with it and leaping around like they were, but but I am sitting there as I do with the when I'm listening to the whole show, and I can visualize what was going on and what was happening on stage when that particular piece of music came on. But that's one that the Russian Dervish is one of the music that gets me going. Is quite a happy and quite hectic, which is probably describes me well.
Do you have any
Happy, hectic, yeah.
Do you
Oh
have
dear.
any other music pieces that you like? Because I remember there's also a lot of violin solos.
What if I suppose yes, the violin is. But I think my favorite one is Davy Spillane again doing Lament. Now you
Yeah,
might know
yeah.
what he's playing. I think it's probably Irish.
It's a bagpipe, but not the normal bagpipe, but it's the Ireland bagpipe, what they call
Yes,
it. And he plays the song and the story about Cuchulainn.
right, right. I see.
And that is a very beautiful piece. Really
Yes,
beautiful.
and obviously you have to be quite um, coordinated to be able to continuously press in and out the bag or whatever, you know, and remember to do it. Otherwise, yes. So that was very impressive, both um, to see him perform that with the kind of one elbow on the pipe bag at all times, you know, and the piece is very evocative, and that always I put that on if I'm it may be totally the opposite of what it should do, but I put that on when I'm ever sad about anything or whatever. I will have that on, and it makes me feel that there's someone going along with me, and that someone is as sad about the situation as I am. So that's a good thing, I think. Anyway, although possibly when I'm sad, I should be putting on happy music, but you know, I don't know. Yeah.
So you guys may be asking yourself, okay, where can I see it? Well, Riverdance show is of course a live show, but you can also watch it on DVD, and it is also one of the early shows is on YouTube, so you can watch the whole show there. But 2021, last year, they made a animation of Riverdance. I don't know, Jonathan, did you already have seen that, or?
Oh, no, I haven't actually.
It's very good. It's very good. I really was. I was looking forward to it to see it, but they made this story about this little girl and a boy that dance, but they put Riverdance music in it, and it's all. And that was the funny part. I was laughing my ass off about this. They, instead of course, people dancing, they let deers dancing, and that was very fun, and frogs and other animals. So that is very funny.
Yeah, right. Okay. Well, I must try and see that. Yes.
But it is very nice. It's a very nice animation, and I believe they did that also because of the 25th anniversary.
Right. Yeah. Oh, okay.
So, but also I think they did that because to attract and show kids what Riverdance is.
Yes, that's right. Good. Sounds good. Yes, it's good to get younger people involved. I actually know some parents that I know of young girls. It happens to be who and dance. It must be very much in vogue at the moment because this particular girl does lots of shows everywhere, and so I think, and that maybe that all started because of Riverdance. I don't know, but yeah, and it seems to me that still little girls like to go and learn ballet because there's a local church hall by me, and one morning I saw a couple of girls who were obviously going there for that. So yeah, and it's good for you, of course, as you said, burns off calories. Yeah.
Well, I can't speak for myself in that's not about Irish dance, but when I saw those old musical music with Fred Astaire and Gene Kelly and Powell, that is the reason why I started doing American tap dance.
Ah, yes. So will we see you doing your American tap dance on a video soon?
I already have one out, but that is I think that is about 20 years ago when I still lived in the Netherlands, and I had this performance, and
nice.
But Simon and I, if we are going to do some kind of a marriage,
right, yes,
then we are planning to do, our openings dance will be the first part of trading taps, so American tap dance against Irish, and then we go over to the original last piece of the Riverdance piece.
Excellent. Oh, that's good.
So he knows how to do that piece. So I don't know if it's gonna be okay with me because, like I said, I'm too jazzy for it. But okay, we will see. I would like to learn Riverdance because it is like it's one of my favorite old times. So,
with that, yes.
Yeah, that's the planning. So that will be recorded, and who knows what else we're going to record with it. So
excellent.
Yeah. So
okay.
Is there anything you'd like to add about Riverdance?
No, not really. But just the whole experience was a good one, and I think that the international feel of the dance of the show is good, and it's good to explore different styles of dance and things like that. So, my advice or whatever to you, if you want to see a dance show that has lots of diversity in it, I would go and see Riverdance.
I
Yeah.
really also adding to that. Yeah, it's a really good dance show, and it has content in it, and like I said, a storyline, and there are professional musicians, so it's not from a CD that they are. It's all live, and
That's right. Yes.
it's all
Yeah.
live, and it's just a really wonderful show to watch. And even I remember that was in that in the documentary of Riverdance. There were little girls in the audience who are started actually dancing, and
Yes.
that was really cute to see.
Yes. Yes. That's right.
Well,
Good.
Jonathan, thank you for this lovely conversation,
Thank you. Lovely to join you. And I hope.
and I hope to talk with you soon.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. And yourself. Uh, have a good evening. Okay.
Dear listeners, thank you for listening, and join me in 2 weeks for a new episode of Orenda Talks. You can listen and subscribe to Orenda Talks on the YouTube channel or join the Facebook group. If you'd like to comment or talk with me about this episode, you can reach out on the Facebook group or the YouTube channel. The next episode is about retro games. I also like to tell you about my other podcast called Girls Talking Track. Together with my co-host Amanda, we recap every 2 weeks an episode of Star Trek, starting with Star Trek TNG. All the episodes will be recapping chronically following. We will approach each episode with humor and a feminine look. Girls Talking Track is also to listen, follow and subscribe on Anchor, Google Podcast, Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcast, the Facebook group and the YouTube channel. I will see you in 2 weeks.